Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. We apologize for the 4-minute delay. Uh, we welcome each and every one of you across the waters from Sri Lanka and in Singapore, taking to all the drivers, the sponsors, and everybody else who've come to take part in the Cmsc Mss Cup race. We've got 14 drivers who are vying for the slot championship. This is round 3. And I have Sam Hinkender in race control with me. As you see, the cars on track, and we're at Autopolis in this wonderful circuit. 14 laps around this twisty turn circuit, and we ask you to stay with us as we have about 9.5 minutes of qualifying all the way up there. So there you see it, 14 drivers, 7 from Singapore, 7 from Sri Lanka, vying for the championship.
Yes, I mean, when you look at this track, it's in Japan. This is the real world track that these guys use, and I mean, if you look at the whole track, it's very, very technical. It's just not a normal track, because your tires degradation will be a bit higher than a usual track, because it tends to camber and different undulations on the track itself. So it's going to be very interesting to see what their strategies are going to be fuel wise. They need to run 14 laps race 1 and 14 laps on race 2. And like Niroshan said, we do have a full grid, 14 drivers, 7 from Singapore and 7 from Sri Lanka, vying for this cup.
Sam, we've got drivers across the board here.
Yep.
We've got Sim5 drivers, we've got the Sri Lankan drivers. What do you think what do you think the outcome will be? Well, we've got some phenomenal drivers from Singapore as well. They've given our boys a run.
Yeah, I mean, to name one, I believe this Hayden is pretty much of a contender when it comes to driving pretty smoothly. You know, his driving method is very, very smooth, calm and collected, not aggressively, you know, trying to push his car around. And pretty interesting. But right now,
and who leads the championship at the moment?
It's a Sri Lankan driver. Kevin Pereira is leading. Second is Akhil Rizni, and Thiago Pereira is number 3, and Brian Pereira number 4. And Singaporeans only come in at number 5.
That they will come up.
They will come up. They will have to push if they want to get into.
But this again is actually 3 championships in one. There's a national event for the Sri Lankan drivers, there's a national championship for the Singaporean drivers, and then a combination of 2 for the overall CMSC Cup as well.
Correct, yes.
And we have, what's the format today? We've got 10 minutes of qualifying.
10 minutes of qualifying and half an hour of racing. Then we do have a break in between. 15-minute break, and race 2 will start.
So 4.6 kilometers on track of this twisty circuit in Japan. We've got a whole load of turns in both directions, and I can't even count the number. I've lost track of this one, but I know for a fact that it's 4.6 kilometers in total. The track is in Japan, as everyone knows, and Kevin Pereira has managed to set a qualifying lap time of 1 minute 44.341. So that would be provisional at the moment. We've got 15 drivers, 15 positions as the game shows. There's actually 14. I think the 15th person is the spectator mode that we have here. So as you see, 2 upon 15 is we're riding with Ethan Yeo from Singapore. All these boys are extremely talented guys. We ride with Dasun Ranatunga. Dasun actually is his first time with us. He's racing all the way, living in Hong Kong. We've got Brian Pereira, who's actually was staying in Australia. So we've got drivers from all over the world. And eSport allows or gives us the latitude to have such variety in this whole process. And there you see Brian Pereira there in his red color Porsche, the elder of the three brothers, Brian, Kevin, and Mevan. We've got Hayden here as well. You can see the car. It's a Toyota Supra from what I see, with the Simfi branding all right around it, with the Liquimoly branding. As he goes into the pits there, a new set of tires, I take it, and Simfi driver 1. That's Asafi. Asafi going right across the circuit, trying to figure out where the limit is, as they all go in for a set of tires, I take it. But the man of the hour at the moment is Kevin Pereira. Kevin has clocked a time of 1:44.341. He's better his previous timing of 1:45, and we have with him still on track Ethan Yo. He is really quick. He's just two tenths. He's just 2 tenths down as Kevin comes in for a set of new rubber as well. And Dasun Ranatunga is doing very well, Sam. His first time in a GT3.
GT3, yes. He was telling me the other day that he's quite comfortable with GR4 cars, but I said this event is GR3. So, but he said, don't worry, I will practice on my own, and I will do my best on this particular track, as well as with the GR3 car.
While we wish him all the very best, let's go down the order and ride on board with Akhil Rizni. Akhil is another driver who's quite accomplished. Akhil, I think, came second or third in the national championship in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant driving from him. And Hayden is there as well. I just saw Hayden in that in
Supra.
the car, in the Supra as well. Hayden is another really good driver. He's managed to keep the car perfectly on line. That's Asafi again in the blue and orange Porsche. We'll ride with Karakoram. Karakoram is also a driver who's been with us once young. Once he has been with us as well, right through on all 3 rounds of the championship. So I think I spoke a bit too soon there. Poor guy. I think he got distracted by me and went off a little. Mevan Pereira. Mevan is the third of the youngest of the brothers, the Pereira brothers. The elder brother who had clocked the fastest time has now lost it again to Ethan Yo. Ethan has got a 1:44.002, and that's where he is. Kenneth Wong, that is Kenneth Wong there. These names, Ken Wu. We get these new names with the screen names again. Ken Wu having a bit of a moment there, and Simfi driver 2.
Because I mean this track, but like you said, I mean it looks very interesting. I mean you can put your foot down and go flat out, but you know these corners are, look at that. I mean, these corners are deadly, I would say.
I can see that. I can see that. They're pretty agricultural for most of these guys. Sam, where's Res B?
Res B, I saw his name popping up, but I'm not so sure where he is.
He's not here. You see him anywhere? I don't see him anywhere. No, he's not there. Res B is not there. His name is on the list here, but his name is not there. So we're missing one driver, Res B. Rehan, newcomer to the sport, and we were hoping to see him on track. I don't know what really happened. It's a bit too late in the day now. We've got just a minute and a bit for qualifying to finish, and Ethan has managed to stamp his authority at the moment. Kevin on his tail, and Hayden, the second of the Singaporean drivers who's really trying their level best. We've also got Thiago, who's in 9th, and not too sure exactly what's happening with him. He's coasting around. I don't see him really giving it all, but he's 9th at the moment. He was complaining about tire wear on the car. Couldn't find the right balance, he said a little while ago, and having a gamut of problems with his driving. Maybe his driving style doesn't really suit this circuit. He's third in the championship, Sam.
Yes, he is.
But not really sure what the young man's story is. He was out at Katakurunda in the morning setting up the simulators for the outdoor event as well, and rushed back home. I take it to come and fix his sim up at home and start driving. So there you see Thiago there, and Karakoram still not gone out. I wonder what's his story. Once young, he hasn't even gone for. He's done one representative lap, and that's about it. And there you see him. Yeah, it's a bit late in the day. Come and go. He's a new driver again, Sam.
He's a new driver.
He's a new driver. What's
Yeah.
the car? He's
That's a McLaren.
He is one smart man. Adventurous, smart,
Let's see what he can do.
and guts to die. Why is Onesie on medium tires, Sam?
I have no idea. Maybe he's got a different strategy. Because
Maybe he's got something that you and I don't know.
don't know exactly. We'll see how it goes.
So up to a couple of minutes, couple of seconds away, we're still with Ethan Yo, who's managed to still keep the timings in place as 144.002. He's just a smidgen away from trying to break the 144 barrier. And I think we may not see very much more than this unless somebody really figures something out and gives us a
better timing.
A better timing.
Yeah. I don't know whether these guys will push it, but
They're all struggling, Sam.
All
The tires are going away from them really fast. You have gone and chosen this circuit. You're not going to be on the Christmas card list of half these drivers for sure.
my name, you mean?
You are for sure not going to be on their Christmas card list. They're all complaining. As there you see a provisional pole sitter, Ethan Yo, who's really out there. He's really improved his game, I think, because in the first few races, Ethan was still trying to figure it out. And yeah, so there you see him there. That's qualifying is done and dusted. And
now to the race.
And now to the race. We want to thank our sponsors, Stamford Tires.
Yes.
They've been with us right through, Sim5 as well. And MSS,
Yeah.
Motorsport Singapore, who really moved heaven and earth to be with us on this.
Correct. Yeah. Big thank you to all these guys, the Singapore ASN. Thank you so much for putting this, and I hope that there will be more events that's going to be coming up in 2022.
Okay, there we go. Cars are off. The cars are off, and you see the drivers. They are launching off, and it's a long straight to a 90-degree right-hander. We'll ride on board with Ethan Yo, and I think Ethan manages to keep the place, and Dasun has pipped Mevan, and unfortunate couple of drivers in the kitty litter there. And as you see Ethan coming up there, and Dasun has taken a penalty because I think he did tap Kevin into that first corner. There was a bit of a bump and a run, and Kevin has been Dasun has been given the
Actually, it's quite a big penalty. It's 1.8 second penalty.
He must have given him one right royal tap.
Yeah.
But Kevin is an astute driver, and Dasun again, he's new to this whole thing, so he's going to be having issues there. And Kevin there just about getting the better of Dasun under braking, getting right up to his hooter at the back, and Kevin is going to have quite a bit of a run there on Dasun.
Yeah, what Kevin is trying to do is, I think he's trying to breathe into his slipstream so he can get a better toe out of.
I think he's just going to hassle the dude.
Or the other way around. Or the other way around. Yes, look at it.
He's gonna give this guy so much of grief. And Mevan is being challenged by Thiago as well. Thiago came from 9th to 5th.
Alright, let's see 4 and 5.
4 and 5 is also it's all there. It's all there. And we've got Hayden as well, who's now giving Thiago a bit of a run for his money. Mevan has managed to get a little bit of sunlight between himself and
Now Hayden is right on Thiago's
He's
tail.
going to
Let's see.
outbreak Thiago. Oh, they're leaning into each other. Thiago on the inside. That was not going to work on the outside unless you're going to brake really brake. The late braking is not going to work there. And Thiago lives to fight another day. But Thiago, I'm told, is having steering wheel issues. His car is having problems. There was a bit of a bump and a run there as well. And I think Hayden ran too wide there. He didn't really recover from that and he lost 2 places. And in the process, you see Simpai 1, that's Asafi, he's managed to get the place up. Let's ride on board again with these guys. On top, that's Mevan, he's managed to stay ahead there. But Dasun has lived to fight another lap there because he's reduced his penalty from 1.9 to 0.7. So great, he's losing the penalty. But Sam, talk us through this one.
With regard to Dasun, while these 2 guys are battling it out, as you can see, Hayden has increased his gap between him and Dasun. Let's see what the gap between Hayden and Dasun is.
Hayden and Dasun, that's quite a big gap.
Yeah, that's about a 3-second gap.
It's a 3-second gap.
And
But
these guys,
oh, can't get any closer. You know, can't get any closer than that. It's fantastic driving. Whoa, on the
I
outside.
think
No,
that
it's
is
not going
what-
to work. It's not going to work. It's a drag race to the first corner, and Kevin manages to win the drag there, right round the outside there. All credit to him. That
yes,
was
that's a
one
brilliant move.
Amazing.
I think that is the move that he was waiting for all this time.
Absolutely. Sam,
Yes.
your comments?
My comments would be that's the move that he was kind of waiting for, and he took it, and he got the better of Dasun Ranatunga. Like you said, Dasun is just getting the grips of this particular car because on the local championship he was running the GR4s, and now he's running a GR3, which is a more powerful Porsche. So I think he's getting the grips of this car and trying to figure out what this car can do, how much he can push the car.
Yes,
And if you look at the bottom of your screen, the tires are getting worn out pretty badly because it's starting to turn a little bit red. So this track is well known to eat your tires.
Yes, but you have to give credit to Ethan. Ethan is just running away with this one, Sam.
Yes.
He seems to have got that rhythm into his place. His lap times are pretty consistent. 144s in second. It's got the fastest lap time as well. And the car very beautifully appointed, rotated beautifully into the corners. He's a little slow on that lap. Maybe he's trying to take a bit of a breather. We'll ride on board with these 3 guys again. Kevin, Dasun and Mevan. You can see a lot of weaving happening at the back there. That is, I don't know, not really ideal. Whoa, there was a bit of a hit there. I think frustration is setting in to Asafi and Hayden. Thiago, I'm told, his steering wheel has come off from the simulator, and he's suffering with the steering getting loose. So he's just about managing to salvage something out of this. He's got a total of another 10 laps to go. Let's wish him well and now hope that the steering wheel doesn't come out in total. And it's part of esport, I presume. How about it down the line, Sam? Wow, it isn't over.
Where is Brian? How come Brian is at the 10th?
Brian went for a cup of coffee.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Sunday morning drive
Sunday
for
morning.
once.
I mean, actually, in Australia, it's
Evening.
late in the
Yeah.
evening, so
He's gone
he's
gone for his evening cappuccino.
Yeah.
And gone to buy some cabbage and some carrots and stuff. And then he thought, okay, I'll bear race as well in the process. And now we're watching Wanzi and Seshan as they are battling it out tooth and nail. Akil Rizni and Brian, the 2 usual suspects in the local racing scene, are right at the back. I'm wondering whether these guys just thought we'll have a bit of fun here.
Yeah. or are they taking a gamble and waiting for the front runners to drop out?
Sam, there's not much of a difference between Brian and these guys. Their tires are all about the same.
Yeah.
There's no real gain up there.
Who's running medium tires?
Who's running medium?
I saw. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
He's
he's a
running
smart man.
medium.
Wanzi is running a set of mediums, so he's going to run a little longer. That's why
Yeah.
he's letting these fellows go,
Yeah.
because he knows he's going to be able to do one pit stop less, ideally.
Yes. Yeah. That
But
must
the
be
lap times are really slow, Sam. I did a bit of a calculation. It's about 2 seconds off pace, a second and a half off pace if you do if you take this gamble. And you can see the lap times. 1:47.335 is about the fastest he's got, whereas Ethan is doing 1:44. So you're losing a lot of time by running the medium tires. Yeah.
Right, but let's see how bad Ethan's tires are. If we go right to the top.
Again, Thiago trying to take the inside line. That's not really ideal for him. He's struggling in 5th place with technical issues in his car. I think Simfai won. That's Asafi is trying everything in the book to get past him. Thiago making that Porsche, the widest Porsche ever manufactured by Porsche. Again, the 911 is an easy car to drive on this circuit. It's it keeps the momentum, it keeps the car going, and it's a wonderful experience. He's being hassled in a lot, and these guys, their tires are also quite bad. They're managing to salvage whatever they have. They've managed to do 5 laps, but I think a pit stop is very close, as Kevin still manages to keep Dasun behind him, and Mevan is tapping on the door of Dasun. But the man of the hour is Ethan. Ethan 3.5 seconds away from everybody else, and very comfortable drive on from him. Very comfortable drive. He's not really being. From his attitude of his turns, he's keeping the car beautifully in line. He's making sure his apexes are right, his braking points are right. And there's no real. It doesn't seem to be a driver who's on a roll. He's just on a mission to get that first spot and take the honors for the day. So there you see Ethan Yo, brilliant drive from him. He's not really struggling with anything that he's trying to do. Very, very comfortable drive from him. Sam, isn't he the one who won in the first round as well, or he was the?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have seen. I think it was Suzuka that he was the thing, and he drove the GTR.
GTR.
Oh man, he was in a different league. He came from the back of the pack, and he overtook the whole lot in race 2 as well.
Yeah.
He's a man. I am total respect for him. Ethan Yo is the man who kept the car brilliantly on track. Unfortunately, he didn't take part in round 2, and he lost a lot of points.
Yeah.
And that's how Kevin managed to get the points or get the better of everybody else. So there you see Kevin there, you see Mevan and Dasun. So Mevan has managed to overtake Dasun, and Dasun has taken the gamble to run an extra lap. So Mevan and Kevin have come into the pits for a pit stop, while the others have all pitted in. So Thiago has come up to 3rd place because of his decision not to pit. I think he's going to go for a one-stop strategy. The others, I think, may have gambled it a little too early. Thiago's managing to keep the car in place. He's trying his level best. So Ethan, Dasun and Thiago running a little longer in their first stint, and Dasun breathing a sigh of relief, thinking, thank God I'm not hassled by this one. This is not an easy one for me. And Dasun remaining in 2nd place. He's burnt a lot less fuel than Thiago. His tires are far better than Thiago's, so he's going to run a lot longer. I think Ethan and Thiago are about the same amount of tires they've lost, whereas Dasun's tires are far better. So Dasun might run a little longer than everybody else. In the process, Akil Rizni has managed to catch Thiago. He's 2.9 seconds behind. So Akil doing a phenomenal job as well. But he's got Seshan Gunasekara. He's just Seshan, 11 years old, little man there, all the way sitting on a chair, and he's simulated fixed to a desk, not even having a complete rig, fighting to keep his hopes alive today. We wish him well as well. And Karakoram, that's him in sixth place. That's Wanzi. Wanzi has, I think, has he done a pit stop? No, he hasn't. He's running on the medium, so he's going to run really long. I have a gut feeling he is trying to do a one stop or no stop, because he's just going all the way with that, and he's got over half a tank of fuel. So he's done a brilliant job. So Thiago and all of them have now come into the pits as well. Let's see where they come out, as Akil Rizni now leads the pack, as he hasn't done a pit stop as well. Karakoram is in second place. Have these guys gambled to run really long? I think Akil might want to come in for his pit stop pretty soon, because his lap lives are not really competitive, but he's okay. Wanzi is about the same, and Ethan is also on mediums. That's an interesting one. Ethan Yo is running mediums. Sam, that's something I didn't see earlier. But Kevin is running a set of softs, and he's just 7/10 behind Ethan. Now that's going to be a bit of an issue, because Ethan, I think Ethan may have gambled on that one a little. He may have read that one wrong, because Kevin is running a set of racing softs, whereas Ethan is running mediums. So there you see that these guys catching, and Wanzi is now in second place, Mevan in third, Dasun in sixth, Hayden in seventh, Seshan in eighth, and Thiago in ninth. So something has gone wrong there for Thiago. I think he's overfueled his car again, and maybe it's just maybe that he needs more fuel than the rest. His driving style requiring more fuel, and the others may have to coast in the latter bit. But whatever it happens, Thiago is 21 seconds away from the top there. So again, Ethan now in the top shot again. Whoa, what's happening here? Let's see this. Kevin again has done it on the outside. Kevin has gone right round the outside of Wanzi. Wanzi running the medium tires. I knew that was not going to last him too long, and Kevin has managed to go right round the outside. So that is a big hit for Ethan, because Ethan is running a set of mediums, whereas Kevin is running softs. Both these guys are with about the same amount of fuel, so that doesn't make a big difference. But the the soft tire, gives you so much more grip. Sam, Ethan is running on the mediums, but Ethan is keeping the same
Pace.
pace.
Yeah.
So do you think that Ethan has some kind of trick up his book?
Could be, because the tire degradation, when you compare the soft to the mediums, you can run the mediums a bit longer.
Yeah, but the sweet spot, the sweet spot of the medium may come in a little later, whereas the softs will come in a lot earlier.
Yeah.
So with that,
And if you go to Ethan and see how his tire wear is.
it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's very little
Yeah.
tire wear.
Now go to Kevin and see.
He's got a lot more tire wear.
Yeah.
So that the degradation is greater with them. Obviously, the degradation is going to be a lot more with the soft tires.
Yeah.
But if Kevin were to do something, he should have done it now.
Yeah. He
It's
needs
now.
to get a little bit much more closer to Ethan.
He's got 4 laps to go, but Kevin is a guy who goes right around the outside of a person, and Ethan is keeping the car way on the left there to make sure that that Kevin doesn't do the same thing he did to everybody else, right on the outside and go right round. As there you see, Kevin's managed to get his best there, and I am not too sure whether this was the right decision, but come what may, Kevin is our championship leader. He's managed to keep that one going, and there's a battle brewing there as well. Mevan is now all over the tail of Onesie.
Yeah.
Onesie,
Along with I think Mevan has made a mistake and
he went off.
yes, he went off.
That was a shame
Yeah.
because Dasun automatically got elevated, and YZ Young, there you see YZ all breathing a sigh of relief because he's got a second and a bit between himself and Dasun. So there you see Mevan, who has had a bit of a coming off today. He's got this. I think there's something wrong with whatever happens to him. He's not really making. He's not making it up because he's got Hayden and he's got Seshan breathing up his hooter at the moment. Whatever anyone may say. So let's see what their game plan is, and in the process you find Mevan actually causing a bit of a road train behind him. There's traffic building up all the way, and that's a bit of a shame because I'm not too sure what the story there is. But let's see. I mean, it's all good. It's all good there, as Ethan is still 4 laps away from seeing the checkered flag, and Kevin has not really been able to make any progress on him at the moment. So there you see these guys. Dasun is 7 seconds away from the whole bunch, and he's not going to make a huge challenge, or he's not going to mount a huge challenge to Kevin as well. So I'm not too sure what the game plan is, but let's ride on board with Onesie Young again. He has not gone in to the pits at all, Sam. Not a single pit stop. He's running those mediums all the way, and you have to give the boy credit. And he's done a brilliant job there as well. YZ Young all by himself there. He may be 11 seconds adrift from his countrymate Ethan Yo, but nevertheless he's managed to keep the car nicely on track. Mevan really not making much of an effort to catch him as well. Thiago is not catching Seshan as well. So there you see Thiago again snaking around a little at the back to make sure he doesn't get taken by Akhil. And these guys are all the drivers from the Race at Home Championship in Sri Lanka. And Thiago holding Akhil back, not really working for him. It's a bad day in the office, as they say. And Brian, our championship leader in Sri Lanka, again not really making huge progress. In some of these circuits are favorites of theirs, and some of them are not. So this is maybe not a favorite of the drivers, but we still try our level best. I mean, it's Akhil trying again there. Thiago staying firmly on the right, and Akhil trying to come down the inside. I'm not sure whether that's going to work. Yes, it will. Akhil managing to take the place from Thiago. Thiago trying the yes, he did. He manages to take the undercut on that. A beautifully executed maneuver there. Again, let's go right on board with Seshan. Seshan, just 10 years old. He's giving Hayden a run for his money. Hayden watching the mirrors there as Onesie and Mevan too are trying their level best. So let's watch it from here. All 4 cars in the same frame there. Karakoram, as we call him on screen, but real name being Onesie Young from Singapore, sponsored by Semfi, and he's being hounded by Mevan, and Hayden being hounded by Seshan. So Mevan gets the better of him there to take 4th place, and Seshan trying his level best there to get the better of Hayden. Brilliant driving from all these guys. As you see, all 6 cars now in the same big frame, but Mevan manages to get a little bit of breathing space. All these guys, whoa, that was close there. Hayden dived down the inside of Onesie, and that gave Seshan a chance to come up the grid as well. I think the proverbial tires have gone away from him. That was unfortunate. That was unfortunate for him. Onesie's tires have seen the better days. He's trying everything in the book to keep his Porsche right across, and Thiago is also trying to keep. He's trying to overtake Wanzi as well as keep Akil Rizny behind him. There's a sandwich there. There's a sandwich. Whoa, that was a good one, but unfortunate for Wanzi, he couldn't hold it there, and that elevated Thiago to 7th and Akil to 8th. We go up again. There's a fight between Seshan and Hayden. Hayden trying his level best. Hayden Hasizal, as they call him, is trying everything he knows to keep that car ahead of little Seshan. That's not an easy car to drive. The Supra. Seshan used to drive a Supra, so he knows how the car handles. And everybody keeping it really clean, lots of space being kept for each other, lots of respect for each other. Nice driving by these guys, all in good faith. There's no bumping and hitting, as they say. There's a beautiful thing there, the MSS logo, and Seshan tries to get the run on Hayden, and he does manage it. Hayden trying to get the slip to come back, but that didn't really work for him. Seshan managing to get 5th place. And Seshan lives to fight that one all by himself. Nicely done by Seshan. And now Thiago is catching up to Hayden as well. So has Hayden's tires, and there you see it. That's the reason. That's the problem they're having. These guys are running out of fuel. And Thiago tries to go one way, tries to go the other way, gets blocked there. And in the process, I think Akil Rizny had a moment there. I think that, not too sure what happened to Akil. Akil didn't really work for him, and Thiago coming down the parallel on the main straight, and I think Thiago might break a little later. The fuel that Thiago carries is a lot more than most of these guys, so the power that Thiago will be using at this point of time is a lot more. As all these guys, the fuel light is blinking. Mevan is running perfectly fine. He's got the fuel, he's got the tires. Dasun is also on fumes. Kevin is on fumes. And Ethan, I tell you, Sam, this boy, he's got fuel, he's got tires, he's got a car, he's got everything going for him today. All he needs to do is buy a sweep ticket, and he might win that too. Huh? This is amazing driving. Awesome driving by these guys. Ethan Yo, our man of the hour. He has a couple of more corners to go, but Ethan in 1st place, Kevin in 2nd, Dasun in 3rd, Mevan in 4th, Seshan in 5th, and Thiago in 6th. So all these guys driving phenomenally well. I'm sure all these guys are trying their level best and their darnest to keep it going. And Ethan Yo, our man of the hour, the driver of the hour, and Dasun trying very hard, but he's not really making it work. Ethan Yo, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our winner of the first race today, Ethan Yo, followed by Kevin Pereira in 2nd place. Dasun Ranatunga, all credit to him too, first time on this event. And Dasun comes 3rd. Mevan a bit of a distant 4th, 16 seconds adrift from Ethan Yo. And Seshan Gunasekara weaves that little car of his as he has made it to the top 5. Thiago in 6th. There you see him. Hayden in 7th. And Akil Rizny in 10th. Kenneth Wu, I think. Kenneth Wu, yes, Ken Wu is in 11th. Brian in 12th. And our last driver, Kemen Ko, is in 13th. So there, but all credit to Ethan. Great drive. We'll be back with you in 15 minutes, maybe a bit more, because if there are any incidents, we got to review it. But in 15 to 20 minutes, we'll be all back with you to ensure that we give you a phenomenal and exciting final race for our CMSC Cup. The car's now going back to pits as we ride on board with our race leader, Ethan Yo. We congratulate him, and we see you back in 15 minutes.
I'm Rob from Grip RS, and we're down here at Stamford Tires HQ at Lock Yard. Stamford has been a brand that's been around since the 1930s, and they have an extensive network all around Singapore. Today at the HQ, we're going to give you a walkthrough tour of their workshop and talk about some of the products and services they provide. So here's the tire side of the workshop. So you can see a couple major brands that they carry are Falcon and Continental, which are renowned all over the world. Talking about tires, so you see a few customers getting their tires and wheels changed over today. And I guess we'll talk a little bit about maintaining the life of your tires. So over here you see there's tires being balanced to make sure that you don't get the vibration right on the road. And here's a laser alignment rig. So this is a state-of-the-art alignment service that they provide that makes sure that the tires you buy last the longest life that they can last. Over here you can see the rest of Stamford's facility, and you can see really how large their workshop is. Besides the tires, Stamford also offers servicing. So whether you've got a Continental vehicle or Japanese or Korean vehicle, you can bring it over here. So whether it's a minor service or something more major like suspension or other repairs, Stamford really offers a one-stop motoring solution. I'm inside the showroom now, and you can see this huge selection of wheels behind me. I think when I'm modifying a car or want to customize it to my look, the biggest visual impact is to change the wheels on your vehicle. So any JDM enthusiast will recognize these names like Rays, like Wed Sport. So Stamford also carries its own in-house range, the SSW wheels, and they carry all the appropriate certifications, TUV, JWL and EAC certification, and is marketed all around the world. You can see some of the accessories on sale here. When I come into one of these showrooms, the first aisle I go down here is usually the car cleaning products. So over here you can see some of the car cleaning products available. So I personally choose Maguire's. So it's Chinese New Year, time to give yourself some love, and if you're going to do that, I think it's worthwhile buying a premium product, and you'll be really makes the result worthwhile. And here we have the real star of Stamford. It's a Stamford Tires auto rescue van. So I think when it comes to driving, the most unglamorous part about it is maybe being stuck on the expressway late at night, or maybe it's early in the morning when you're going to get to work and you've got a flat battery, you can't start. So we talked about Stamford's service. So they've miniaturized the whole thing into these 5 meters here, and they'll come to you any time of the day. I'm Rob from Grip RS, and we're down here at Stamford Tires HQ at Lock Yard. Stamford has been a brand that's been around since the 1930s, and they have an extensive network all around Singapore. Today at the HQ, we're going to give you a walkthrough tour of their workshop and talk about some of the products and services they provide. So here's the tire side of the workshop. So you can see a couple major brands that they carry are Falcon and Continental, which are renowned all over the world. Talking about tires, so you see a few customers getting their tires and wheels changed over today. And I guess we'll talk a little bit about maintaining the life of your tires. So over here you see there's tires being balanced to make sure that you don't get the vibration right on the road. And here's a laser alignment rig. So this is a state-of-the-art alignment service that they provide that makes sure that the tires you buy last the longest life that they can last. Over here you can see the rest of Stamford's facility, and you can see really how large their workshop is. Besides the tires, Stamford also offers servicing. So whether you've got a Continental vehicle or Japanese or Korean vehicle, you can bring it over here. So whether it's a minor service or something more major like suspension or other repairs, Stamford really offers a one-stop motoring solution. I'm inside the showroom now, and you can see this huge selection of wheels behind me. I think when I'm modifying a car or want to customize it to my look, the biggest visual impact is to change the wheels on your vehicle. So any JDM enthusiast will recognize these names like Rays, like Wed Sport. So Stamford also carries its own in-house range, the SSW wheels, and they carry all the appropriate certifications, TUV, JWL and EAC certification, and is marketed all around the world. You can see some of the accessories on sale here. when I come into one of these showrooms, the first aisle I go down here is usually the car cleaning products. So over here you can see some of the car cleaning products available. So I personally choose Maguire's. So it's Chinese New Year, time to give yourself some love, and if you're going to do that, I think it's worthwhile buying a premium product, and you'll be really makes the result worthwhile. And here we have the real star of Stamford. It's a Stamford Tires auto rescue van. So I think when it comes to driving, the most unglamorous part about it is maybe being stuck on the expressway late at night, or maybe it's early in the morning when you're going to get to work and you've got a flat battery, you can't start. So we talked about Stamford's service. So they've miniaturized the whole thing into these 5 meters here, and they will come to you any time of the day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for race 2, and on a reverse grid, we see the entire grid being reversed, and on pole we have the guy who finished last, and that is Jensen Wong. Will get into the first corner and try to pip his compatriot from his country who's right next to him. That would be, and they're off. Some of the cars are having issues. We have to restart. We are having a couple of technical issues here, and I think we will have a restart as race control will now go back to opening up the room again. We'll be back with you in 5 minutes, and while they do all that, let me thank our sponsors: Stamford Tires, Falcon Tires, and Simfi as well. These are small issues that eSport does have over a period of time. Sometimes when a server is not working properly, you'll have these issues coming along, and race control now restarting the lobby, all the drivers being asked to step out, and while everything will be realigned. Today being a very interesting day, there's motorsport happening right round in Sri Lanka at Katukurunda. Most of our Sri Lankan drivers taking part in the Katu 2021, as well as in Singapore today we have the endurance races also conducted by MSS. So a very busy day for all the officials. I know I just got the post a little while ago that the endurance race will commence shortly. The race, the 3-seasoned championship round 1 starts today. So we wish all the drivers in that race as well all the very best. I was told there are 28 drivers in the Asian Endurance Series, which is also sanctioned by MSS. So all credit to the organizers all round. We have a team of officials at Katukurunda running two outdoor events with simulators fixed at the Katukurunda racetrack, where the national championship or national events are happening. We've got the race at home event happening today here, which you've been watching, and we've also got the Asian Endurance Series round 1 of 3 taking place today. So overall, amazing day of motorsport. Amazing day of motorsport. That's on one side. The other side is that on the 18th of oh, I forgot. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. Today we have another event run by MSS CMSC and MAM, the rally. We've got the round 5 of 6 of the rally happening. So there you have it. We've got a lot of motorsport taking place today, and 3 separate events taking place between our ASNs. So all good today. And while we wait for the lobby to be opened up again, we want to thank our sponsors again: Stamford Tires, Falcon, and Simfi, the company that manufactures the simulators and supplies simulators in Singapore. So that's from the Singapore end. From the Sri Lankan side, we want to thank our sponsors, SLT Mobitel, who've been with us, partnered us, and helped us out.
I'm Rob from Grip RS, and we're down here at Stamford Tires HQ at Lock Yard. Stamford has been a brand that's been around since the 1930s, and they have an extensive network all around Singapore. Today at the HQ, we're going to give you a walkthrough tour of their workshop and talk about some of the products and services they provide. So here's the tire side of the workshop. So you can see a couple major brands that they carry are Falcon and Continental, which are renowned all over the world. Talking about tires, so you see a few customers getting their tires and wheels changed over today. And I guess we'll talk a little bit about maintaining the life of your tires. So over here you see there's tires being balanced to make sure that you don't get the vibration right on the road. And here's a laser alignment rig. So this is a state-of-the-art alignment service that they provide that makes sure that the tires you buy last the longest life that they can last. Over here you can see the rest of Stamford's facility, and you can see really how large their workshop is. Besides the tires, Stamford also offers servicing. So whether you've got a Continental vehicle or Japanese or Korean vehicle, you can bring it over here. So whether it's a minor service or something more major like suspension or other repairs, Stamford really offers a one-stop motoring solution. I'm inside the showroom now, and you can see this huge selection of wheels behind me. I think when I'm modifying a car or want to customize it to my look, the biggest visual impact is to change the wheels on your vehicle. So any JDM enthusiast will recognize these names like Rays, like Wed Sport. So Stamford also carries its own in-house range, the SSW wheels, and they carry all the appropriate certifications, TUV, JWL and EAC certification, and is marketed all around the world. You can see some of the accessories on sale here. When I come into one of these showrooms, the first aisle I go down here is usually the car cleaning products. So over here you can see some of the car cleaning products available. So I personally choose Maguire's. So it's Chinese New Year, time to give yourself some love, and if you're going to do that, I think it's worthwhile buying a premium product, and you'll be really makes the result worthwhile. And here we have the real star of Stamford. It's a Stamford Tires auto rescue van. So I think when it comes to driving, the most unglamorous part about it is maybe being stuck on the expressway late at night, or maybe it's early in the morning when you're going to get to work and you've got a flat battery, you can't start. So we talked about Stamford's service. So they've miniaturized the whole thing into these 5 meters here, and they will come to you any time of the day. I'm Rob from Grip RS, and we're down here at Stamford Tires HQ at Lock Yard. Stamford has been a brand that's been around since the 1930s, and they have an extensive network all around Singapore. Today at the HQ, we're going to give you a walkthrough tour of their workshop and talk about some of the products and services they provide. So here's the tire side of the workshop. So you can see a couple major brands that they carry are Falcon and Continental, which are renowned all over the world. Talking about tires, so you see a few customers getting their tires and wheels changed over today. And I guess we'll talk a little bit about maintaining the life of your tires. So over here you see there's tires being balanced to make sure that you don't get the vibration right on the road. And here's a laser alignment rig. So this is a state-of-the-art alignment service that they provide that makes sure that the tires you buy last the longest life that they can last. Over here you can see the rest of Stamford's facility, and you can see really how large their workshop is. Besides the tires, Stamford also offers servicing. So whether you've got a Continental vehicle or Japanese or Korean vehicle, you can bring it over here. So whether it's a minor service or something more major like suspension or other repairs, Stamford really offers a one-stop motoring solution. I'm inside the showroom now, and you can see this huge selection of wheels behind me. I think when I'm modifying a car or want to customize it to my look, the biggest visual impact is to change the wheels on your vehicle. So any JDM enthusiast will recognize these names like Rays, like Wed Sport. So Stamford also carries its own in-house range, the SSW wheels, and they carry all the appropriate certifications, TUV, JWL and EAC certification, and is marketed all around the world. You can see some of the accessories on sale here. When I come into one of these showrooms, the first aisle I go down here is usually the car cleaning products. So over here you can see some of the car cleaning products available. So I personally choose Maguire's. So it's Chinese New Year, time to give yourself some love, and if you're going to do that, I think it's worthwhile buying a premium product, and you'll be really makes the result worthwhile. And here we have the real star of Stamford. It's a Stamford Tires auto rescue van. So I think when it comes to driving, the most unglamorous part about it is maybe being stuck on the expressway late at night, or maybe it's early in the morning when you're going to get to work and you've got a flat battery, you can't start. So we talked about Stamford's service. So they've miniaturized the whole thing into these 5 meters here, and they'll come to you any time of the day. I'm Rob from Grip RS, and we're down here at Stamford Tires HQ at Lock Yam. Stamford has been a brand that's been around since the 1930s, and they have an extensive network all around Singapore. Today at the HQ, we're going to give you a walkthrough tour of their workshop and talk about some of the products and services they provide.
For hopefully a race which will have no events, no drama at the start. We wait for the drivers as Sam manages to press the lights, and we have SimFi driver 2 in the NSX. That is Jensen Wong, who will lead the pack. He'll be followed into the first corner, hopefully by Ko. And as the lights go off just about now, all the cars take off, and that's unfortunate. Some of the drivers having a problem. We've managed to have one car who have a problem, and the other cars all getting away, and Camco has managed to get the better of everybody else, and there's a lot of hitting and knocking going along, but that's okay. We've got all the drivers perfectly aligning themselves, and there's quite a bit of argy-bargy going along there as we changed our views to make sure that we see everybody properly on the race control, and in the process we've got Thiago in third, Brian in second, and Camco in first. So Brian trying his level best now to stretch his legs a little bit as Thiago and Brian come way down the inside there. There's a little bit of pushing and nudging, I suppose, and I'm sure that poor guy didn't know what exactly was coming past him, and he came a cropper there as he's a new boy. I need to find his name. He's Kemen Yuko. He's come down to third, and there's these guys breathing right down his neck. In the process, Wanzi in fourth, Hayden giving him a slight nudge, and Seshan in sixth. In the process, Brian and Thiago pulling away as Kemen Ko holding up the rest of the bunch. That McLaren is a fast car as well. We ride on board with Wanzi as Wanzi is being hassled by Hayden, and Seshan is having everybody breathing down his neck as well. So you see all these cars, they're right across the board there, braking really, really late into that 90-degree right-hander. Seshan getting it in all kinds of knots as Dasun Ranatunga makes a right royal mess of the whole. That corner there goes spinning off. I didn't see him coming out smelling of roses as Brian still leads the pack from Thiago, and Cayman Co is still in third place. All credit to Cayman in that monster of a car of his, and I'm not too sure how he's going to manage it, because in the earlier race he was nowhere and he's come third. So he's credit to him to keeping this car in a straight line there, as Wanzi now chasing down Camco, and Camco seems to have lost that spot to Hayden and Wanzi as well, inching his way into that thing. This time Wanzi has decided he's going to change his tires to racing softs. Out round the outside, these guys are no quarter given, no quarter asked. As Cam and Co, something does happen to him. I think he ran way too wide and went off. He's losing places, or hand over foot. Matthew Hayden, sorry, Hayden Hasilan. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. We'll call him Hayden. Hayden is in third place. He's chasing down Thiago. Thiago now 1 second away from Brian. Brian also pulling away. These guys running very, very quickly down that long straight into that sharp right-hander. We'll ride on board with Brian, and as I will take you down this circuit, there's a slight kink to a right and down for the first set of timing beams just about now. Yes, there you see it. Brian just 0.03 of a second slower than his previous lap, and then he takes a right-hander into a sweeping left-hander, a sharp U-turn just about now. First gear out of that corner into second gear, keeps it on first, into second, into third now, as he will go right round that left-hander, which is a long sweeper again, and now it's uphill. He will be throttling into fourth. He's not in the power band as yet. Fourth, and he's just about there. Fourth, fifth. He's short shifting very, very, very much. He's not changing his gears very too far, and he's shifting it way before its required amount. That's how he saves his fuel. And Thiago right behind him, holding it up all the way until the rev counter comes. So that's the difference between these drivers. One short shifting, the other throttling it all the way to make the car give it all the power he has. Brian beautifully taking it there as they pull away from Hayden. They're 3.2 seconds away from Hayden. 4.2 in fact 4.3 from Brian, as Hayden trying his level best to keep up with the bunch who are running away at the front, and Wanzi in fourth place. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, two Simfi cars, two Porsches, beautifully branded. That is Simfi driver 1, that is Asafi. Sorry, Asafi is being now hounded by Hayden. Ethan Yo, who started last, is now coming all the way around the outside, got the better of Asafi, and Seshan following Asafi as well. And that is amazing driving by Ethan, all the way from 14th, last spot on the reverse grid, now coming up the order, fighting his way up there. Breaks late, turns in there. I mean, that's the guy to watch. Ethan Yo, our man of the day, started last, and he is coming. He's starting his charge up the grid, while Thiago and Brian are trying their level best. He's got about a 6 and a bit, almost 7 seconds off the pace of Brian. That's because he's got stuck behind the other drivers. But there you see these cars. It is so realistic to watch these guys driving in that frame. As you see, a gaggle of Porsches. There's only very few other cars who have been drivers who've been brave enough to choose other cars. But you see these guys coming. And there aren't any. I can't really see anybody else who's decided. It's like a one-make series. I know one driver. He managed to take the McLaren. Apart from that, all the others seem to be Porsches. So Porsches being the cars of choice, except for Camco, who's Cayman Yo, who's decided to take the McLaren. And as my partner here, Sam, said in the morning, he is a brave young lad to have chosen this car, because it's not the easiest car to drive. But if you are sitting inside the car, it's like driving a Formula. You're sitting right in the middle of the car. And it's easier to control, I presume. But everybody else,
this guy is a very rear-end happy car.
Is it, Sam?
Yeah, it is.
your car of choice has been this, is it?
No, it's not. I won't take this car.
Really?
I won't take.
On why?
I won't take that
On
because
why?
it's. I mean, the rear of the car will easily give out.
Sam, what about Brian? What are these two guys up to?
Brian is okay. Thiago's on racing soft, and Brian is also on racing soft.
But I
So,
think Brian is going to do a pit stop much later.
much later. Yeah. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to extend his gap between Thiago and Brian, and I believe he's easy saving his fuel.
He is saving his fuel, Sam, because
he's on fuel saving.
He's on fuel, and you can see again the way that these guys are the way these guys are changing gears. Look at where Brian changes his gears. He's really short shifting there. You can't even see the RPM gauge coming up there.
Yeah,
See?
exactly.
He changes very early, whereas Thiago redlines it. So that's where the fuel is going.
Yeah. So what Thiago is trying to do is Thiago is trying to close that gap as much as possible to Brian.
Because Hayden is catching him.
Yeah.
Because end of the day, these guys are being caught by Hayden. And at some point of time, Hayden in that Supra of his, he's running a Supra. But Hayden also has to be careful. He's got a whole load of cars right behind him.
Yeah.
Right behind him. It's not a walk in the park for him. As Thiago has fallen to 1.1 seconds away from Brian, and Hayden is about 2.2 seconds behind. But Hayden has caught Thiago. These two guys in front are getting caught by Hayden because it was a 3.9 second gap. He's dropped it down to 2.3. Either the guys in front made a mistake and this guy caught up, but it's every lap I can see Hayden slowly inching, clawing in a tenth here and a tenth there.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to close that gap ever so slowly up to these the top two runners. That's Brian Pereira and Thiago Pereira. So that could be his plan.
But our man is Ethan Yo.
Ethan Yo. I don't know what his strategy is, because if you look at his tires are the rear tires are almost I would say 40% of the tire is gone.
But Sam, he came from last to fourth. He's come up to fourth. He's come up 10 places.
Yes, yeah.
He's made up 10 places. Whereas Brian, I think Brian didn't make up 10 places. Brian started this race in third place.
Yeah.
So he's made up 2 places.
2 places.
Thiago started off in 9th. So he's made up 7 places.
7 places.
And Ethan Yu has made up 10 places. So that goes to show why the fuel has gone from the other guys. Because these guys, Ethan Yu and Thiago, have been fighting a lot more than Brian and Hayden, because they started way up on the grid, on the reverse grid. How are these guys performing? Have they made any improvement?
That's Karakoram 887. Well, they have come up a little bit.
Wisey, our man Wisey with the Simfi. He's a Simfi driver. You have to thank Fi for having given these drivers a chance to use his sims. Simfi is a guy who owns Simfi, and it's a fantastic effort that they're putting in. As Ethan has now come into third place, he's coming to third. He's now. What happened to Hayden? Oh, Hayden's had a moment, and when we were talking about it, Hayden's had a moment and gone off. That was sad, because that Supra was the sole surviving Dare to Be Different car in this whole process. There was no other car. The only 2 cars today are the Supra and the
McLaren.
The McLaren, and the McLaren is last, and Supra is no better in 8th place. So
I don't know what exactly happened to Hayden, but he has dropped to 8th place right now.
Now, Sam, Thiago had better watch out, because he's 2 seconds adrift from Brian, and he's 2.5 seconds ahead of Ethan. So Ethan is catching him. Sam?
Yeah. But easy trying to, look at the way he drifts his car.
Beautifully done. I would say 100 out of 100 for handling that car. I mean, there's so much that so much that can be done as they all come into the pits. Everybody is coming to the pits. Brian, it didn't really work. Maybe he'll underfuel his car because he's got 51% of fuel, whereas Thiago's 36. Karakoram Vanzi is at 40. Ethan is at 44, and Seshan is at 45. So there you see those guys just about made it. Thiago just getting ahead of Ethan. Ethan giving him a bump there. That was a little out of shape there. I think neither party knew where the braking spot of the other person was, and they managed it out there. But a very rare incident from Ethan. He's a very clean driver in an ideal world. As Thiago is having problems with his steering wheel, he said the gave the spot away back to Ethan because I'm sure the steering didn't turn in as he wanted it to turn. That's part of life. It happened all by himself, but Thiago might get quicker in this process. Following Ethan, he might catch Brian because Akil Rizni and Hayden are guys who have not pitted in as yet. So, in the grander scale of things, 1, 2, 3 could be between Ethan, Brian, and Thiago at the moment. So let's see how it works. We have faith in the system, as our next best driver is Simfy driver 1. That's Asafi. Asafi has gone into the pits as well. They've got about 5.5 laps left in this event, and we'll ride on board with Dasun. Dasun, what happened to Dasun, Sam? Dasun drove brilliantly in that first bit, and Kevin, our driver Kevin, who leads our championship, I think, he too has gone down the order. He couldn't really make it stick, and Mevan and Kevin are right at the back there. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
And if you look at Dasun's rear bumper, there's a huge a mark. So I believe he has spun out or something like that. There you go.
Or somebody gave him a lap tap.
Exactly. So
he's lost a whole bumper, is it?
No. There's a huge mark. So that means either he has spun out and hit the side rails, or somebody has.
Sam, if you look at the back of the car, isn't there a part missing in the car in relation to the others, or is it my eyesight?
No,
it's my eyesight.
Normal,
okay, fine. I've made just like my being supposedly colorblind. I thought I saw something in the back of that car which was missing as well, but it looks like it's my eyes. It's nothing to do with the car. So there you see these cars. Again, Dasun trying to come down the inside of Vanzi, and it's not really holding water. Thiago is now still quite a bit adrift from Ethan Yo. Ethan has overtaken Hayden. Hayden struggling a little. I don't know whether he's really struggling, but his tires are pretty good, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
He's kept that car perfectly in good trim. So I'm wondering whether he did something there. I mean, maybe he only changed his tires and didn't fuel himself up. I'm not too sure what exactly happened, because Hayden was 8th. Did he do a pit stop very early? Did we miss him in the pits that we suddenly saw him drop down the order? But realistically, what happened was he did a pit stop very early. Tanked himself up full, got a new set of tires, and lives to fight another day.
I believe he's on fuel saving, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he's not, Sam. He is throttling that car all the way up to the wire. See, he's throttling it all the way up there. He's not really changing before the line. So he's not really... I don't see him... I don't know whether we've read this wrong, but Hayden seems to be very much in control of things, and he was second or third at one point, and he's still second or third, so he's there. But Brian, what's he thinking now?
Okay, let's go up to Brian and see.
Brian's 3.1 seconds ahead of Ethan. Ethan came from all the way at the back, and he comes up to Brian. So will we see a change of leaders?
You never know because Ethan is a very, very
Astute man.
driver. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the hare and the rabbit. He's gonna go. He's gonna inch his way around, and it's weird what he does. Amazing driving from him. As we see Ethan slowly inching into Brian, it's a very small amount of inching away, but I don't know whether he's making much of progress in this process because the gap's not really reducing, and Brian is managing to pull where he was. And again, Hayden has made a mistake from what I see. He's gone off and he's being now hounded again. Thiago's back in third as Dasun comes. Oh, there's a moment there. There's a moment there. I'm wondering what is going on here. These boys, hey, that's not on. Uh, I think they'll. There's a bit of bumping and hitting there. Dasun muscles his way through as Hayden comes down the inside. Nicely done, Hayden. Beautifully done. And Dasun keeps it wide again there. And in the process, Kevin too comes along on the inside and says, "Thank you very much." As poor Hayden, I don't know, he's getting muscled around a lot by the Porsches. I'm wondering where where the Supra has lost its better grip here. But in the grander scale of things, he is managing to stop the car at the same braking points as the rest, but he doesn't seem to have been able to get anywhere in the process. But it's sad to see this car. It's a lovely car, and Hayden has tried his darnest to come to where he is. Kevin has managed to go with Dasun. Dasun is now about 4 seconds behind Thiago. It's about 3 laps there. I'm not too sure whether that's going to really work in Dasun's favor, but nevertheless, we wish the guys all the very best. Let's go on board with Brian. Brian still managing to stay ahead. That is an amazing thing. Brian has not yielded his place to Ethan. Brian said he had some problems with his tires, with his pedals. I'm sorry. And if you look at the tires between Brian and Ethan and Thiago, all three about
The same.
just about the same. So these guys are going to take it all the way to the wire in this position because Dasun is not really catching Thiago in this process. So Dasun is also being hounded by Kevin and Mevan. So the brothers are at it. Mevan not really close enough, but Mevan also has managed to get the better of Hayden. And Hayden again is being chased by Wanzi and Akil Rizni, as well as where's Seshan? I can't see Seshan in this. Sometimes Seshan performs really well, but in the middle, Seshan does have trouble when he has to get past certain guys. So it's all about track time. It's all about experience. It's all about these guys making sure that they are in the right place at the right time. we try our level best to work on this process and follow the drivers as Kevin there nicely rotates the car into that corner, make sure he gets the apexes, brakes at the right point. There you see Dasun snaking that car a little. He's not going to help his tires any more than it already has, as he does lose a couple of tenths by that whole process. The rear tires of Dasun, having seen the better light of day, and the tires of Kevin no better. So these front runners all in the same boat. They lost the better part of tires. Thiago's fallen 5.8 seconds away from Ethan. So from what I gather, the front two drivers are clocking slightly better lap times than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there you see it. A couple of more corners to go in this lap, and a full lap left in this championship. The last of our rounds before we have a Christmas break, and we start all over again in January. Sam, what's our plan for next year?
There's a lot of interesting racing that's being planned. The local event, our usual race at home 2022 will kick off, as well as the Asian Zone Championship will kick on, and
So we have intercountry events as well with Singapore, with Malaysia, with Hong Kong,
yeah, Macau
Macau,
and India.
India,
Yeah,
as well as Chinese Taipei,
yeah,
and we have Korea and in Korea and Malaysia, Korea, Malaysia, and Australia, New Zealand joining the party as well.
exactly. Yes. So there's a lot of exciting e-sport events that's being planned for 2022.
These are all times that we wait to see all these drivers come out, and we ride on board with Thiago. He's got a lap and a bit to go, and Dasun Ranatunga chasing Thiago. He can smell the fumes of the car in front of him, literally and in otherwise. But we have a problem. Dasun is on fumes. He's driving on fumes, whereas Thiago and the guys in front have enough and more fuel to power themselves through, whereas Dasun and the guys behind are all with their fuel lights blinking away. So I'm not too sure that they can go another lap at full bore, because they are they've managed to exhaust all the fuel that they have. Dasun, they're being hounded by the Kevin and Mevan. It's not going to be an easy peasy task for them, but the front two runners are pretty much on the money. They've done their service, and Brian Pereira, I have to tell you, has got quite a bit of fuel left in his car. He can really power it through. You can see him now pushing it. He's got the rev limiter going all the way up there, and it's a really good, really great stuff to see Brian. He's come up all the way, got about between quarter and empty, I would say, but a lot more than everybody else. There you see Ethan Yo, his fuel light blinking away, saying, "That's it. You're on fumes." Thiago again in the same boat. His fuel is almost at the end, is a little better than Ethan. Dasun is having the same problem, but Dasun is being hounded by Kevin, and that's not going to be easy for him. He's got a couple of corners more as we'll ride on board with Brian Pereira as he comes down that last parabolic turn into the right-hander, into the left-hander, and he'll weave from one end to the other to take the checkered flag. All congratulations to Brian. Ethan Yo coming second. He just about makes it round the corner. And Thiago is coming in third place. Thiago flashes his lights in customary form as Dasun, Kevin, Mevan, and Akil form up the rest. And we wait for one's Karakoram as he comes across. Seshan and Hayden comes in 10th place. We wait for Ken Wu. We missed him the whole race. Kenneth Wong is another driver who's been there. KW as we call him. And he comes into last place. That, ladies and gentlemen, ends the championship with MSS and CMSC. We thank each and every one of you, including our sponsors, Stamford Tires, Falcon Tires, Simfi, not forgetting Simfi, who put this whole thing together. Simfi is the company that initiated the championship between our two countries. We thank Fi, especially Fi, for his effort in bringing two ASNs together, building esport in Singapore, and building the rigs and promoting esport not only on Gran Turismo and including Dirt Rally as well. We'll be back with you in a couple of weeks, and we wish each and every one of you a healthy and prosperous new year, and stay safe. Thank you.